If you're putting pictures in your worksheets, you may come across different issues of sizing or changing colors or giving it a different effect. All those kinds of options are basically to modify a picture. Now, as we go through this, there are a ton of options. It's a lot like charting. There's a lot of things that you can add or take away. So we'll get into it and give you a really good idea of where these things are and what they mean, what they will do to your pictures. And then after that, there's a lot to explore. So I brought in a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and just so everybody knows that this came from their Microsoft Clip Art site, I'm just going to go to the Insert, Online Pictures, and it's right here, office.com, Clip Art, and I put in Paris, and then I click the search button, and it's this picture right here. So this picture is on the Office site. It's not licensed or anything. You can use that for basic use. If it gets into commercial use, you probably should check on that. But here we have the picture. And once you click on the picture, right up here is Picture Tools and Format. You want to click in that. And we've looked a little bit at picture styles, but there is a ton of options around that. Adjusting, arranging, even sizing to the point that you might be cropping some of that. So remove background. When you do that, it's basically taking the forefront of the picture and trying to determine what's in the background of this. And you can do that. We see some of it's in here. So it's trying to find out what the background is. That may or may not work. You can go in and mark other areas to remove, to keep, so you can start clicking on things. That's getting pretty deep into it, but you can do those kinds of things. I'm going to click Discard All Changes. So if you have like a completely white background around something or a blue background, that might be the easier way to do it, or the most common way to do it. Corrections. When you drop this down, you have an area for sharpen or soften, and what I'm going to do is bring this over so we can see it better. So as you see, it's moving, it sharpens it up. There we go. It seems like there's a lot more light on it, and then as I go this way, it softens it, so it almost blurs it. Then we have brightness and contrast. So it can get really bright here, so a nice sunshiny day, or it's dark again. Okay, so there's a lot of quick options here to make changes, and then there is an option down at the bottom, and you have the ability to move these scales up and down. There's some presets that were originally offered as well. Same thing for that drop down, and then you can move these. You can even change the picture color, like saturations, and basically your options that you're getting here are going to be available up here, but you can move these things back and forth if you want to. There's also a cropping area, which you can do here, but you can also do it up here. So for most of these, we're going to do them from the ribbon up here. So the first one was corrections, sharpen or soften, and brightness and contrast. If I look at color, this is that color saturation we were seeing in picture color options, just a really short one or a small one. Black and white, it's changing colors as we go here. Color tone, it can get richer, a higher temperature. Recolor, there we go. There's your washout. If you like the background, just to be kind of faded out, that's a real quick one to use. Black and white, a little, they opposite each other, black and white, and then the other direction. Then you have green accents, lots of different choices here. So this is good. You can get some ideas over here. More variations. You can do other colors right from here. Set transparent color. When you click on that, what this is doing is a little bit like the remove background, but this is going to remove anything that's the same color as you click. So I click on that. So there's a band of that type of color there. If in most pictures you may have like a solid color behind something, if you were to click on it, it would take that out. So I'm going to undo that. There we go. So this was under color, set transparent color. And then down at the bottom again, picture color options, and we get this set up here. And then these presets, when you drop them down, I know that's going off your screen, those are the same as what we had up here for saturation, tone, and recolor. In fact, you get more here. These just allow you to drag these scales in case you want to customize it that way. There we go. All right, artistic effects. All right, I don't think that changes anything there. There we go. Marker. Looks more like dots there. Let me make this larger picture so it'll be a little easier to see the changes. There we go. Pencil grayscale. It may take a second for your computer to process these because it has to readjust. That's some blur, glow diffused, and so on and on this goes. And it's nice because it can make something look very artistic very quickly. It can match branding. It could match just the style of message you're trying to create, you know, with your worksheet. So these are very cool. All right. So if you're doing budgets, if you're doing worksheets, and you're trying to communicate a certain style, then these are all there. Artistic effect options. Okay, and then we get into shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges, 3D formats and rotations. And there's artistic effects again. And those presets were the ones the same that were up here. So yes, you can work over here, but a lot of these are over here. Now, compressed picture, if you get a lot of images in your worksheet and you need to reduce the file size, especially if you're trying to upload it or email it, if you click on that, you've got apply only to this picture, or if you turn that off, it'll be every picture in the workbook. Delete cropped areas of pictures. Now what this is referring to is sometimes you get a picture and what you don't know is that there's a whole left side that's actually a part of this picture, still a part of the file size of this picture, but you just don't see it. It's sitting out over here and it's just been cropped off. Not deleted, just it's basically hidden. So that would get rid of anything that was cropped prior to this. And then the target output is important because the higher the output, the print, the larger that image is going to be as far as file size. Screen print, email. So depending on what you're doing with it, you want to watch which ones you want to choose, and then you would just simply hit OK. And it helps reduce the file size. Most files or most images will, but not all. Okay. Change the picture. That's where it lets you go out and choose from a file or online, and it just basically replaces the picture. Okay. Reset the picture back to the original image, and then image and size. So if you resized it or changed the image at all, it'll take you all the way back. So that's a quick way to do it rather than undo all the way back. Okay. Now, other things that are going on here, you've got borders that you can put on. Now, you probably can barely see that. It's got an orange border. The problem is the weight is so small. It's a 3/4 point, so I'll bring that up so you can see it. There we go. More outline colors, weights. You can even do dashes here. Just depends on what you want to show there. So lots of colors, no outline. You have a lot of choices there and the weight on that. Picture effects. As you move through here, you're going to get all kinds of different looks. There you go. Like I said, it goes on and on. There's even more options there. Shadowing, outer shadows, inner shadows, and perspectives. Get some of those in. Okay. Reflection. And let me take off the border. It's kind of interfering with that. There we go. And then let me make this a little, or just move this up. All right, we wanted to show reflection. So you see how it reflects at the bottom there, and how far away from it do you want the reflection to start. This is right up against it. Then we got glowing. So let's do a little bit more dramatic. So it's like around it, and it has color saturations and colors that you can change. Okay, soft edges, just makes it really, really, really soft. Okay, so you can get that picture in just the way that you want it. Beveling, you're going to see the different types of bevel within the pictures. There we go. All over. And then 3D rotation, some of this is going off your screen, so I'll move it up here. So you have lots of different styles here, and do picture effects, rotation. So lots of others are available, but it's a way to set it off or have it look very different from just a regular picture. Okay. Now, picture layout, this goes to a little bit of smart art, but you can actually put this in the type of graphic, like these are all boxes, so when I move my mouse over, I'm just going to click on it. It puts it in that style, and then you can just type and put a caption to it as well. Okay, so what's really cool about that is it gives you a little bit more format to how you want to present that picture. So I'm going to go back and to picture tools. So you can get all these different styles, and in another session we'll talk about inserting smart art. But be aware, just because you have brought it in a picture, you can automatically move this into what's called a smart art graphic or holder. Here we go. So you have lots of different ways to make this look really cool very quickly. And as you go through the smart art section, you'll see how that's brought about, what that's used for, and it's very easy to import images into all these different pieces here. Okay, so that's that. Let's talk about rotation. You can rotate it right, left, you can flip it. And then as you go into more rotation options, you've got lots of ways to twist it and turn it. Aligning, that's if you have more than one of these and you want to align them to each other, or in this case, since it's by itself, snap to the grid or to a shape. Let's do to grid, and basically it's lining up with it's grabbing onto the grid of your worksheet here. All right, let me click on this. Picture tools. Now cropping, you can just click on crop. There we go. And you'll get all these black lines here, two in the corner and then one on each edge here. And what that does is when you left click on any of these and hold it, it's cropping out whatever direction you're doing. So it'll start to crop this here. Maybe it's too tall, but you want the, as much of the Eiffel as you can get. And maybe it needs to come in from the side a little bit. Okay, that one's snapping to grid. There we go. And we want to turn that off. There we go. So now I can resize it wherever I want. So a good lesson there, if you do snap to grid, it's going to limit what you can, change here, because it's always going to pop to the next grid line. There we go. So that's cropping, crop to shape or an aspect ratio. You can do fill and fit. But very easily, if you're just saying, hey, I just want to get rid of this area, then you just crop that. I mean, click away from it and all of that is gone. So it's a nice, easy way to modify your picture. And you can actually do it through sizing. And again, if you drop these down or go into options, you can do all things with sizing of the picture itself. There's a lot of properties down in here. This one, move but don't size with cells. We've shown this in another session. So as things go up or down or left or right, that will go with it, but it won't resize it. This is move and size with the cells, or don't move and size with the cells, those kinds of things. So lots of options here to work with your images, different ways to format them, and have fun exploring all those different options.